Welcome back. Welcome back to Math with Gustavus. In this lesson, we'll be dividing decimals. Whenever you're dividing decimals, there are some steps that I'm recommending. Step 1, you rewrite the problem as a fraction. Step 2, you create an equivalent fraction such that the denominator is an integer. Step 3, you convert back the equivalent fraction to a division problem. Then step 4, you divide as usual. Let's jump into some questions. Question 1, we have 0.123 divided by 0.5. The first step is to rewrite the problem as a decimal. So let's do that. So it's 0.123 divided by, that will be all over 0.5. Now the problem is a fraction. Afterwards, we need to convert this fraction into an equivalent fraction such that the denominator is a whole number. So what we need to do is to analyze the denominator. When you look at the denominator, you'll notice that it's a decimal with one decimal place. That simply means we need to multiply by 10. So what we're going to do, we're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 10. By doing so, we will now get an equivalent fraction, which is 1.23, and then that will be all over 5. Now, this is where we can rewrite this equivalent fraction back to a division problem. As a division problem, it will be 1.23 divided by 5. So the important thing here to note is that whenever you're dividing decimals, you need to ensure that the divisor is a whole number, and then you can proceed. So let's divide, guys. All right, so right here we have 5 as our divisor, and then as our dividend we have 1.23. So let's divide. So it's 5 into 1, that was what? 0 times, so we can put our point right there. All right, then we can multiply 5 times 0, we'll get 0. Afterwards, we'll subtract 0 from 1 and we'll have 1. Afterwards, we'll carry down the 2. Now, we are now going to divide 5 into 12. Now, 5 into 12, that goes 2 times. Afterwards, let's multiply 2 times 5, that will give us 10. And then we subtract, and we are left with 2. Afterwards, we bring down the 3. So it's 5 into 23, that goes 4 times. And then 5 times 4, that would be 20. Then 20 from 23, that will leave us with 3. Remember, this is a decimal, so we can add as many zeros as we want. So we're going to use 1 0 at a time. So we'll bring down that 0 right there. Now we have 30. Now 5 into 30, that goes 6 times. So the answer to this question is 0.246. Pretty easy, right? Pretty easy, I would say as well. Let's look at another example. In this example, we have 0.072 divided by 6. So the first step is to rewrite the problem as a fraction. So that will be 0.072 all over 0.6. The important place to look at, guys, is the divisor. Because the divisor has one decimal place, that simply means we are going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 10. What I mean by one decimal place, guys, is that there's only one digit to the right of the decimal point. So if there were 2 decimal places, meaning 2 digits to the right of the decimal point, we will multiply by 100, and so on and so forth. When we get to those examples, I'll explain for you. So let's continue. So 0.072 times 10, that will give us 0.72. And then that will be all over 0.6 times 10, which is 6. Afterwards, we can rewrite the question as a division problem, which is 0.72 divided by 6. So let's divide now, guys. We can now divide. Our divisor is 6, which is our whole number, and our dividend is still a decimal. So let's divide. So 6 into 0, we can't. We put our 0, put back our decimal point. Alright, then we multiply 6 times 0, we'll get 0. And if we subtract 0 from 0, we'll be left with 0. Now we can carry down our 7. Now 6 into 7, that goes 1 time. Now 6 times 1, that will be 6. Then we take away 6 from 7, we'll be left with 1. Afterwards, we can carry down our 2. Now 6 into 12, that goes 2 times, and then 6 times 2, that is 12. And now 12 from 12, that leaves us with 0. So our answer to the second question right here is 0.12. Again, guys, pretty easy. It might look challenging, but with additional practice, it will become clearer and clearer. Let's look at another example. Here we have 3.9 divided by 0.13. The first step is to rewrite the problem as a fraction. So that would be 3.9 all over 0.13. After we have done that, we now need to convert this fraction to an equivalent fraction. But we need to assess our denominator or our divisor. Given that our divisor is 0.13, which means that it has what? 2 decimal places. Now we're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 100. So when we had 1 decimal place, we multiply by 100. 2 decimal place, let me correct that. When we have 1 decimal place, we multiply by 10. When we have 2 decimal places in our denominator, we multiply by 100. If we have 3 decimal places in our denominator, we multiply by 1,000, and so on and so forth. So let's continue, guys. Now 3.9 times 100, that will give us 390, and 0.13 times 100, that will give us 13. Now guys, we can rewrite this problem as 319 divided by 13. Now 390 divided by 13 can be rewritten now as 13 as our divisor and 319 as our dividend. So let's go, guys. So 13 into 39, that goes 3 times. So it's 3 times 13, that will give us 39. And when we subtract 39 from 39, we are left with what? 0. And then we carry down our 0. Now 13 into 0, that goes what? 0 times. Alright, then we multiply 13 times 0, then that will give us what? 0. And when we subtract 0 from 0, we are left with 0, which is 0. That means 3.9 divided by 0.13 is simply equal to 30. So initially it looks challenging, but after going through the steps, it is pretty simple. We have one more example here to work. Let's look at this example. In this example, we have 0.28 divided by 0.007. So the first step is to rewrite as a fraction, which is 0.28 all over 0.007. Now, if we look at our denominator, we'll notice that it has 3 decimal places. Since it has 3 decimal places, this simply means that we need to multiply both our numerator and denominator by 1,000. In doing that, we will now have 280 in our numerator, and in our denominator we will have 7. So we can rewrite the problem as a division problem as 280 divided by 7. So let's divide. So that's 7 divided by 280. 7 into 28, that goes 4 times. 7 times 4, that's 28. 28 from 28, that leaves us with 0. Carry down our 0. Then 7 into 0 goes 0 times. Then 7 times 0, that gives us 0. And then we subtract 0 from 0, we are left with 0. So the answer to 0.28 divided by 0.007 is equal to 40. Guys, thank you very much for watching. You have done a wonderful job. Now guys, it is the final segment, the fun part, where you get to express to me that you understood what we have done. So I want you to take out these questions in your notebook and complete them as an exercise. And when you are through, kindly post your answers in the comment section. After that, I'm asking you to share this video with all your contacts, all your family members, all your neighbors, your students, your congregation, everywhere. I'm asking you to share this video. Ask everyone to complete the activity, watch a video, complete the activities section, and post their answers in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and please look out for a lot more videos. Bye bye.